Welcome to the Dove Show. I appreciate you guys, man. Check me out.
I caught an L at a young age, stretched out. Getting 24, homie, I got 5 out. Now on YouTube, trying to get a paper route. Coming till you know the deal, we on some grown shit.
What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Today I was thinking, like I do every day, what am I gonna do for content on the big channel? You know, the second channel, I do reaction videos, so I can always find something pretty easy. Having had this channel for over 5 years, it's not always easy to come up with stuff. You know, it seems like some people think, you know, you just turn the camera on and you go. It doesn't work that way. And you guys already know that. Look, I know that you guys really enjoy the prison stuff, okay? But you guys know that I'm respectful of those that are still in there, and cautious of what I really go into. You know, it cracks me up when people say that you're selling out for the views and for the money, and if they only knew people that I've been around and things that I've done in there, that I did in there, not that I've done, that I did in there in the past, I could get a lot of views and a lot of money off of those stories. But it would be disrespectful, I believe. In my heart, it would be disrespectful, and so I don't do it, okay? But today, I'm gonna give you guys another glimpse at prison. For those of you that have been there, especially in the level 4s and the 180s, you guys already know what I'm talking about. It kind of just puts you back there for a minute. It reminds you of why you should be grateful and thankful of being out. I already know that. But there's a majority of people, I believe, that watch this channel and they've never been to prison, or they've been on a lower level, or their knowledge of prison either came from one of their homies that did time on a level 1 and is telling fucking Wes Watson-like stories, or their knowledge of prison comes from Hollywood. And in the last 2 scenarios, you're not getting a full understanding of what it is, okay? Before I get into it, I just want to let you guys know, like, I on an almost daily basis still think of what goes on behind those walls. I think of the men behind those walls that I know, regardless of how they conduct themselves outwardly, inwardly, they would love to be in our position out here. They would love to be with their families and their loved ones, eh? Now, unlike what a lot of people think, prison isn't all about, at least for the raza, and I'm going to say raza from Southern California, okay? So in my experience, it isn't about your physical, it isn't all about your physical, you know, your ability to do stuff physically. Hold on. In prison, you learn to utilize all the weaponry at hand, okay? But the best weapon, the weapon that you are always honing, always sharpening, always strengthening, is your mind. You know, you'll see dudes in there that get into a mix with someone. One dude could be big ass dude, physically intimidating. He gets into it with a little dude that might be skinny, might be a dolphin. I take that back. Might be a tecato, because he's not gonna be a dolphin. Might be a tecato, gets high, whatever. And without them physically even having to get into an altercation, the big dude is removed, because his mental game wasn't even close to the little guy's mental game. Those of you that know what I'm talking about, you know. But when you get on these level 4 yards in California, you definitely can't be playing checkers. It's a definite chess game with angry men as the pieces, as the pawns, as the castles, the rook, whatever. You know, it's just an analogy, right? I'll tell you another very, honestly, I think, like I said, your brain, your mental capacity, your mental abilities is your greatest strength in prison out here in California. I think second is still not physical. Everybody can pick up a knife. Everybody can take somebody's life in there. Well, not everybody, but everybody's capable of it, okay? But number two, a weapon that is very treacherous is the ability to have the bag. And I don't mean money, I mean the dope sack. When I went into prison, I had been in YA, got out of YA for 5 months, and then caught my life sentence, right? Well, caught my case. When I was in YA, I always wanted to learn from the homies that had been there longer. I didn't want to hang around with the dudes that just came in like me. You're not going to learn that way. I learned how to read people. I learned all the mind games in YA pretty quick because of who I chose to kick it with. I went to the joint and I employed the same strategy. I watched, I observed, I learned. I would see dudes that were hogs, dudes that had a reputation, that had put in major work, had a bunch of juice, connected, whatever. And over a fix, they would bend a rule here. Bend a rule there, overlook something. I'm not talking about legends. I'm talking about dudes, regular dudes, okay? Let's make sure that's clear. So it was pretty obvious to me. Not only am I gonna be putting in work, but I'm also gonna have the bag. It's a trip how in there, like I'm hinting at, the bag can control killers. It can put a killer on pause. It can put so much on pause, man, that it's pretty amazing. It's also a very, then number three we'll say is the physical, because you do have to be able to do it on your own, not rely on others. Always be willing to do it on your own first. Now, with all that said, I will say that one of the saddest things about prison in California is how many good dudes get lost in the shuffle because they can't control their addiction. I was never a pig, eh? I was never a greedy dude. I was never a snake. I was never scandalous. I used to remember dudes would be like, I'm gonna have this vato hit. I mean, who? So-and-so. Like, for what? And it's always the vatos that didn't have the bag. Well, not always, but a lot of times vatos that didn't have the bag. And what you do, you hit your clavo and, you look out for your camaradas. And there's some vatos that are just, they're psychopaths, eh? They enjoy the violence. The money doesn't mean nothing to them. It's the violence of it. It's creating a name and an image and their own prison legacy. That's more important. So going back to what I was saying, they'll be like, I'm gonna hit this dude, or I'm gonna have this dude hit. Like, who? So-and-so. For what? That vato owes me, Holmes. I sold him some dope and, he hasn't paid me yet. And I'm like, how much does he owe you? Vato owes me $50. I'd be like, man, Holmes, what's the address? Give me the address. I'll pay. His debt is my debt now. There were times where it might be a bigger debt. But I know these vatos are going to give me more money in the long run by me doing that. and they're gonna give me their loyalty because they know I got them out of some shit. That's what I say when you gotta understand the game. You gotta be able to have that mental ability, because Hollywood will never get it right. Majority of us that did time like that and were around all the stuff are never gonna talk about it. Me having a channel and wanting to discourage people from following in our footsteps that lived that life. Now and then I do gotta do these type of videos. I do gotta remind people that there's nothing glamorous about the lifestyle. Prison is part of the program when you're running in the streets. Prison and death, those are parts of the program. If you are fortunate enough to cheat death, yet unfortunate enough to catch an L, don't believe that you're going to do time and it's all going to be brotherly love. You will have to be willing to die for your worst enemigo on the streets. You're probably even going to sell up with them. You know why? Because you guys can reminisce. Even though you're enemies on the streets, if you're from LA and you have a Sally from San Diego, you tell a story or you listen to his stories, you can't even picture it. But the crazy thing is when you sell up with your enemigo, you guys tell stories and you reminisce. You be like, damn, fool, we were out there trying to smoke each other. But anyways, this video is long enough. I think I rambled long enough. I just want to, like I said, I just want to make sure that people understand that when them level 1s and level 2s get out from doing their 1 year or 2 year term and they tell all these killer stories and glamorize it, it's not glamorous at all. When Hollywood takes liberty and creates scenes on film that are very inaccurate but entertaining, understand that's entertainment. When you get to prison, if you're in the streets, you're running around, hey, Holmes, I can't knock you. You know, I understand why people are in the streets. And I hope you find your way and realize your worth so that you can get out of them. But if you find yourself behind them walls, man, it's a whole lot of sacrifice, a whole lot of hurt and pain, sadness. And those are all things you're never going to be able to show because you got to be hard, big dog. With that, I'm out. You guys take care, be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, right? I'm out.